Hello everyone, it's me, Katai, the lead behind Salve development, here to report on the latest updates to my game Salve, S-A-L-V-E. Thanks for tuning in for another update video. I'm super excited to share some of the work I've been doing this month. It's been a busy month for Salve, so let's hop right in. The big focus for October has been the development of Salve's GUI, or graphical user interface. Basically, all the buttons and knobs that make the game run and let you modify stuff. There's a whole lot that's been updated, as you can probably already tell just by looking at the main menu here. If you can recall from the last video, we used to have just a simple black screen with some buttons. It was pretty basic, and it really only let you open some test levels and close the game. That was really not much to work with, if you ask me. So I went out and I decided, hey, we're going to work on this. We're going to get it done. So now we have so much more to mess with. The first, most obvious change is the background. No more simple black void. Now we have some color and we have some animation. This is actually 2 layers of animated tiles, but it creates a great visual effect, in my opinion. So there'll probably be options to change it and stuff in the future, but for now, I'm just gonna keep it like this. Let's see. We have some really clean, responsive buttons here for a number of sub-menus, including we have a campaign button here, a player versus CPU button. We have options. We have a website button. These do what they say on the tin, by the way. We also have exit here, so that lets you get out of the game. Yeah. It's also got a bunch of tooltips on it and everything. So all of this stuff is tooltips on it. Just about every button has tooltips on it. So it'll explain what it does. But yeah, really cool stuff. It's exciting. Of course, I just want to head off before we get any deeper. I wasn't able to finish everything I wanted to get done, but and also many of the options are just for show at this point. That as well. But I am planning on expanding this a lot further. And I'll get to that later. We'll save that for the end of the video. But we'll dig into the menus for now. Just be aware that some stuff might not be complete. It'll be complete later. Don't worry about it. Okay, we'll start here. Okay, so first we have the campaign menu. This one's pretty basic. It's got an option to start the alpha campaign, as well as a mission select screen here, this little choose mission button. The missions themselves right now just lead to test levels, so there's nothing in there right now, but in the future they will allow players to play and replay full single player missions, so that's really exciting. So next, we actually have one of the largest and most complex pieces of code in this entire update, that being the player versus CPU menu. Once this is going to be fully functional, this menu will be the central hub for players to generate random combat encounters between themselves and CPU players. There's a lot to cover here, so bear with me as I go over some things. Boom. Okay, so big menu, a lot to look at, but I'll break it down for you, and you can kind of learn a little bit about what it's going to look like. So up top, right here, we've got game options. This is all the stuff where you can set up specific game types. You have map sizes, you have unit capacity, bounties, crates, things like this. Each of these also has a tooltip, so they kind of explain a bit more about what they do. Different modes, so you can either do a PvP or PvE mode, where you do either a head-to-head standard combat or more a wave combat format. And you also have this button up here for selecting your battleground or selecting your map, and this opens up its own window where you can actually go through and click for map, and it has a little icon and a tooltip explaining it, as well as a random button if you want to just pick a random one. So those are things you'll be able to see in future updates, these different maps, especially some of the ones you might not have seen already yet. Some of these you'll see in the future. Down here at the bottom, we have resource options. You can set up custom rules for your match, so you can allow things like resource injections. You can do a single lump sum payment with a timer. You can even turn off resources over here, or you can, at the bottom here, you can set the starting resources that everyone gets. We back and start, you go back to the other menu or start the match. And in the middle, we have probably the juiciest, meatiest part. This is a really big dynamic piece. Basically, um, depending on um, the map size, you'll have a number of rows here. In fact, set this to very large. So this is set to very large to allow for 8 people. So these are 8 slots that are set up here. Um, depending on the map size, you'll have a number of different fleets that can be in play for a different map. And each row allows you to kind of customize a bunch of the options for that fleet. So let me open up here. You can kind of see as we kind of adjust some of these. You can set the team, so that you can be in a different team. You have different factions, so you can select between factions. And in fact, you set things to PvE, you actually get the option to unlock um, like special NPC fleets to be able to fight in this wave format. You only get to fight them as CPU. You can't play them, unfortunately. That is an option you get in the game. Let's see what else. It's pretty meaty. You get other things here like skills, so you can set the skill level, set it to extreme or like really easy. Easy, medium, different ranges. You can set the strategies, so you can have it aggressive or defensive, evasive, um, industrious. These all mean different like approaches that the CPU will attempt to follow. And then you have things like start sites. So if you want to start next to an ally, next to an enemy, or just at a random location, you can do that here. And then at the end here, you also have the option, non-functional at the moment, but will eventually be functional, to set a color. You can set like a primary or a tertiary color for your fleet. You also get the option to set badges. So these are like little pieces of lore. They give you a little icon to help differentiate your fleet, and they also have like a little they have like little bonuses that are associated with them. Like for example, this is the Lanza badge, and you get 10% faster projectiles when you have this equipped. So they have different options depending on the fleets that are using them. Unfortunately, you don't get to set badges for like some of the NPC fleets. They don't get them, but that's okay because you're not going to play them anyway, so it's not a problem. But yeah, a lot of cool little options here. As you can tell, super complicated, super robust. There's probably going to be some more fine tuning to get this just right, because I'm sure there's probably things I missed. But as the programming progresses, hopefully I'll be able to use this, take all the selections out, and then plug it into like some sort of map generator, which I hope will come soon. But yeah, that's the PvE player versus CPU menu or whatever. Really, really exciting stuff there. And last but not least, we have the options menu here. So this is a bit less complicated than the CPU player versus CPU menu, but it has some stuff in here that allows you to like kind of set how you want to play. So we start over here with the gameplay menu. The gameplay menu has some quality of life options included, so things like panning options. There's a rebind controls menu that I need to finish. There's also, you can toggle military selection priority. So if you want to like select a bunch of units, but you don't want to pick your resourcers out, and you just want to leave them alone, you can select this and it'll allow you to do that. You'll also have sound options. This is probably the least finished. I need to put in sliders, get this all set up, but that'll come in the next update, I'm sure. We'll put some sliders in. You also have chatter frequency, so depending on how much you want to like set the chatter. Oop, I gotta fix that. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that's something to fix. Great. But yeah, you'll be able to set the amount of chatter that ships produce when they're in combat. They like to talk. They'll be like having little voice lines and stuff like that. So that'll turn that down. And graphics here, you have your brightness. You have battle scars. You can toggle foreground shading, how many particles are being produced. Eventually, this will allow you to also do things like set the resolution size. It'll let you toggle between full screen and what you call it, windowed mode, full screen and windowed mode, and things like that. So yeah, a lot of options already put in here. None of it's like plugged in or connected really, so it's not working. It's not really going to do anything at the moment. But hopefully with the next update, we can change that and we can start making these buttons have an effect on the actual game. Now that's about everything in the main menu, but that's not everything that has been completed in this update, to tell you the truth. Let's actually take a closer look at the in-game GUI, because lots of work has actually been completed there too. A whole heck of a lot. Let's just click that Start Alpha Campaign button. And as you can already see, welcome to the game, by the way. It looks a lot different from last time. If nothing else, things should look a lot cleaner in terms of like layout and button style. Um, uh, yeah, I'm very proud of how this all turned out, and I'm happy to dig into it. Let's look around at this. Um, Now you've got a fantastic little toolbar at the bottom here. It's got a number of buttons for things like you got your menu, sensors, research. You've got this row of numbered buttons here that all correspond to control groups. So, say if I were to set control group one, um, you can press one on the keyboard, or no, there we go. You can press one on the button there, and it will select them as well. Um, you've also got, let's see here. You got some informational buttons over here on the right, and those are next to the build button. This build menu actually folds out like this, or unfolds out like this, and it lets you click through different construction vessels. So I can select between like colony ship and like a Pantheon, which are these ships up here. The colony ship up here, and this is the Pantheon. But I'm selecting here. Yep, that's the Pantheon we have selected here. So I can actually click these buttons and queue up a number of different units. So I have 2 here and 4 here. They'll start actually being produced. I don't know if you can actually see that there, but they'll start being produced by the carrier. Here, watch. Oh, actually, we're out of resources. That's why it's slowed down a bit. So we'll just have to wait for it to produce more resources. But yeah, so you can like queue up stuff here. Actually, watch. There it is. See? You see that? It was a little tiny, but it did flash right by, and here we'll see the fighter in a second. There it is. Whoop, see? So things are producing out of there. You can actually set these independently, so you can have like a number of like, like 5 here, and on the other one it's got 0, so you're not building on both of them. So yeah, that's really neat. It's really awesome. Yeah, let's see what else. The other point I was going to make on this is that this is also future research. So a lot of these are in red. That means that you haven't researched the item that's required to produce them yet. That's something that you'll have to do in the future, like when you play through the game. You'll be researching and unlocking things to be able to build these things. Really exciting. Now, as for the info buttons, these are for ship data over here. You have an action button here. Actually, I'll show you the ship data. So you select a unit, you can see the data here about them. This is the action button here. That lets you see the action window. This shows you fleet capacity. And then you have a communications button here and an objectives button. And as well, this action box actually unfolds, and it gives you a bunch of buttons for special actions as well. For any of those that like toggle or like can be clicked and right-clicked on another thing, those all show up here. They have their own tooltips as well. So everything's laid out. You understand what it is, but it also has icons. So you can kind of read the visual cues as well. Let's see what else. Yes, over here on the left. This is the selected units window here. These 3 arrows over to the left. So this just shows all of the highlighted units, or all of the selected units, I should say, and it just shows them like this. You can like pick through them. Eventually, you'll be able to click through them like this. And, right now, the menu selection is not like functioning correctly, so I have to fix that. That's for a later update as well. But you'll eventually be able to click all of these and just like highlight them and look at them in the data window and get a better look. They'll also have these stance buttons and these formation buttons. So that sets like the stance, whether it's like defensive or hostile, and you can also set all of the selected units in this box here to a formation. And those are all going to come later as well, including formation. I haven't put the code in for that. That's going to be in a few months, so stay tuned for that in future updates. Let's see. Sensors hasn't changed much. Neither has research. These are all pretty Like, honestly, research is probably fine. I'm not going to change much here going forward. Um, but the sensors will probably get an update, and there will be more functionality there. We'll get to that in the future. Um, but yeah, some other minor touches include things like let's see here. You actually have new not toolbars, but new like HP bars. So you can actually see the health bar, the near space charge. For some units, you can actually see like I don't know if it's like visible, but yeah, there's the bar here for like resource collection. Some of these are actually going to have an additional bar. This blue bar here is for like a special action charge. So lots of cool different bars. These all generate dynamically based on the unit in question. So there's like a big list, and it's consulting. But yeah, these all have their bars laid out nicely, and it should be pretty visible, like what the HP looks like, what everything else looks like. Pretty readable, hopefully. Yeah, what else? Oh, yes, we have a section purchase drop-down menus as well. So these have been updated, so you can like click this and just start building sections and stuff. Um, Needs a little bit of work in some places. So some fixes are going to be needed to be done here. There's some bugs in places. You know how it is with development. These are all things we'll iron out as things go on. But you can see the basic functionality of everything here. But yeah, uh, wonderful. I think that's about everything. Yeah. So that's the game screen as it stands right now. You can expect more in the future, but hopefully you get a good picture of what things look like. Oh, last piece. Build units are up here, and actually, this is like an estimate of the total dead. I know it says build units. I miswrote that. We have to fix that. But this should say total dead. But yeah, it also tracks how many dead crew members you lost. So if like this entire carrier blew up, you'd have like 1,000 people on that list. Probably more than 1,000. Let's be real. But anyway, cool little functionality there. But yeah, that should be about everything so far. More to come in the future. And that should cover just about everything so far. It might look deceptively simple, but I can assure you that there's a rat's nest of code behind that shiny menu screen that keeps the whole thing running. But never fear, this is only the first month of GUI development. I anticipated that such a hefty portion of the game would require some additional work, and which is what you can expect in next month's update. That's going to be part two of the GUI update. I hope to have a number of things completed, including fully coding the buttons so that they actually do stuff, adding some missing elements like the screen resolution options, maybe even putting together the PVE map generator. Who knows? I mean, I definitely want to iron out some of the bugs, get everything working smoothly so that there aren't any issues. But yeah, we'll see how the next month shapes up. I'm back to full time work, so I won't have as much free time to myself these days to work on code as I'd like. But if you want to help to change that, consider sharing this video or a link to salvedevelopment.com. That's SALVE development.com with someone who might like this sort of thing. It would mean a whole lot to me if you did that. It also really helps promote the game a lot, and I can really promise that if additional support comes my way, I can I can definitely turn more of my attention towards putting this game together and making it look really awesome. But yeah, stay tuned, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next month's update. We'll be ironing out some more of these problems, and adding more features and making everything look really nice. But yeah, ta ta.